With Vin Diesel's $225 million net worth, of course he can buy as many muscle cars as he wants. Let's take a look at his $2 million car collection. Be honest, you'd be a little heartbroken if I told you that Vin Diesel drove around in a smart car or a Kia Soul. His cars actually have even more muscle than he does.
Wow.
For instance, why don't you take a look at this beauty, his 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Grand Sport. This is everything Diesel loves in a car. It's flashy, tough, and a classic all at once. The perfect Vin Diesel buy. It boasts a 5.4-liter V8 engine. This can turn out 300 horsepower and a top speed of 142 miles per hour. It's also rare, which is pretty important for Diesel. There may be as little as 100 of these cars ever made. When it comes to auctions, these babies are known to cost $100,000. This car also showed up in Fast 5, which is another thing Diesel likes to do. The entire franchise is basically just him sampling cars he's gonna buy later, or in one case, a Charger that may have been bought for him. We'll get to that later. If you want to see a car that's plenty fast and furious, look no further than Diesel's Lykan Hypersport, aka one of the coolest looking cars ever built. No wonder it was featured in Furious 7. It's a perfect stunt car because it can move at truly preposterous speeds. The ride can hit 245 miles per hour due to the 780 horsepower its 3.7-liter twin-turbo flat-six engine can produce. This is one of the rarest cars in his collection, with only 7 in existence. So don't let the fact that it's valued at $3.4 million surprise you at all. We've also got his Tokyo Drift era. Look at this 1993 Mazda RX-7. If this car didn't look cool enough already, that paint job with the rocket on the doors really sells that this car is futuristic and fast, though not necessarily furious. This little car can fly at speeds of 120 miles per hour with an engine that boasts over 100 horsepower. When it was released in 1993, it made something of a splash as one of the coolest import cars money could buy. Diesel reportedly picked up this ride for $40,000. My personal favorite of his cars is a true classic in my eyes. I'm talking about his limited edition 1989 Dodge Charger Daytona. This beauty has a Magnum V8 engine capable of around 425 horsepower, can hit 200 miles per hour, and has a 0 to 60 time of 6.4 seconds. It is one of the most iconic American cars ever made, one that managed to win Talladega in an epic display of speed and skill. No wonder Diesel dropped $90,000 to bring this replica home. I would have paid $100,000 for that. If I had his money, that is. Obviously, you don't need his money to afford to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Of course, Vin Diesel has a Dodge Charger. He had a 1970 Dodge Charger Tantrum. You know, the actual one that was featured in the films. Now, a normal 1970 Dodge Charger is already pretty impressive. It can hit 140 miles per hour and features a 0 to 60 second acceleration time of around 5 seconds. This Detroit muscle car still packs 390 horsepower as well. They can still go for, on the low end, around $40,000 to upwards of $100,000 if it's in pristine condition. Not too bad at all. No wonder this is Dominic Toretto's favorite car of all time. Don't worry, we'll compare his rides to Diesel's later on. What makes this Charger Tantrum special, aside from its movie star status, is that it came from the geniuses at Speed Core Performance. While these guys are well known for building all sorts of high-performance cars, it seems clear that their hearts are tied to the Dodge Charger. They really decked this car out from top to bottom with spotless carbon fiber and interiors that have been completely revamped in leather. Not only that, but the engine has some major upgrades as well. It features a Mercury Marine Racing 9.0-liter engine that comes complete with 2 turbochargers that can deck out 1,650 horsepower. Most people think that Dom's Charger can do such incredible stunts because it's practically science fiction, but with specs like this, I fully believe you could rob the largest bank in the world, save the world, or win pretty much any street race you want. No wonder this car is said to have cost $600,000 to build. They say that the Fast and the Furious franchise is all about family, and that seems to go on behind the camera as well. For Diesel's 52nd birthday, the crew got him the perfect present. He turned a corner and found that the famous Charger he'd driven for the film was now his as a gift. The look on his face was worth more than $700,000. You just know that anyone who bought him every present after this had to compete with that moment. I feel sorry for his family for having to go up against that one. No matter how nice a tie is, it'll never be a 1970 Dodge Charger. Unfortunately, you won't be likely to spot Vin Diesel driving around in this beauty. That's because he actually sold this work of art not too long after he was gifted it. It is rumored to have gone for as high as $2 million. You'd at least think this ride would go for $5 million. That's not asking a lot for a car that's literally saved the world. So my only question remaining here is, how does Diesel's collection of cars compare to Dominic Toretto's? Well, both of them have the same love of pure, classic, American muscle and steel. Just look at his 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner that he drives in Tokyo Drift. This car just screams Dominic Toretto in every inch of that all-American style. It's got an aerodynamic body that can hit 150 miles per hour. But you gotta be sure that Toretto gets this baby to 180 easy. He does like to make alterations, and let's not forget those nitrous systems he loves so much. That $75,000 this car is worth is nothing compared to how many cars he's probably won from racing it. Of course, we've got to talk about the Chargers. We've already covered one, but there are a few more favorites of Toretto's that he has done crazy stunts with over the years. For instance, there's his $55,000 1968 Dodge Charger Hellacious. A normal 68 Charger can go only about 156 miles per hour, with a 0 to 60 time of only 4.8 seconds. From the way Dom drives his Hellacious though, also churned out by the team at Speedcore, it's clear that he's got his blazing over 200 miles per hour for sure. Then there's the 1970 Dodge Charger RT that Dom supposedly built with his father. It only goes for about 15 grand and normally only hits around 140 miles per hour. Judging from the footage I've seen, it can probably hit 300 miles per hour, is completely invulnerable, can come to a complete stop in like 1 second at any speed. All things considered, I actually like Diesel's taste a little better than Dom's. Sure, there's nothing wrong with sticking to American muscle cars, but there's also nothing wrong with branching out here and there. Come on, Dom, you've saved the world. Why not try something new? Live a little. I don't know about you, but I'm already excited to see what cars Vin Diesel is going to sample for his collection in Fast 10.